Warning, this video could contain inappropriate language and offensive jokes. If you're easily offended by both of these things, then you should click away now. Thank you and enjoy the video, my peeps. Smosh is regarded as a classic when it comes down to YouTube. If you spent your life on this wretched website, then you probably have heard of them before. Smosh was originally a website that Anthony Padilla made to communicate with his friends, one of them being Ian Hecox. One day in 2005, Ian and Anthony decided to record themselves lip-syncing the Power Rangers theme and posted it on their website. Their friends loved it, but once they discovered YouTube, they posted more videos there, and then they blew up like crazy. Now they're a full-on brand/company and have 25.1 million subscribers on their channel. Smosh has definitely grown over the years, but over time a lot of people have noticed that their comedy sketches have changed. Especially when Anthony left back in 2017. They became more corporate, and every ounce of creativity, charm, and comedy that used to be there slowly disappeared. Last year, I watched I Hate Everything's review for Smosh the movie, and the top comment on that video was from a user named Contra, who said, "For the people that are saying that Smosh used to be funny, I think that is called growing up." Around this point, I stopped watching Smosh entirely, and it has been years since I've last watched a video of theirs, so I was wondering if this was true. Has Smosh decreased in quality over the years, or have they always been bad? To answer this question, I tried to find the most creative project that Smosh has ever done, and then I remembered a little channel called Shut Up!
Cartoons.
On April 30th, 2012, Smosh uploaded a video announcing that they're making a new channel titled Shut Up Cartoons. The channel posted animated shows that followed Smosh's style at the time, which was spontaneous, random, and immature. Remember those three words. The video then showed a supercut of scenes from the cartoons that were going to be on the channel. After remembering that this channel exists, I decided to binge watch a bunch of pilots from the cartoons and review them for a video. Why? Because I'm in quarantine and I have ran out of stuff to do. First, let's set up some ground rules. I'm only reviewing the pilots of these cartoons, as I stated earlier. I understand that a show's first episode can be very shaky because they're just trying to figure things out, but I'm too lazy to review full season, nor the show as a whole. I'm also reviewing shows that I have an interest in, not every show from the channel. I don't want this video to be longer than it seems. With that being said, I'm going to shut up and get to the review. Oh, that was really bad. The first show that Shut Up Cartoons ever released was titled Do's and Don'ts, A Children's Guide to Social Survival. The show's premise is simple. It's a cartoon that teaches kids what and what not to do during wildly inappropriate situations. The pilot episode, titled Hiding a Body, is about a game of Russian roulette that goes awry, and now the kids have to figure out how to hide the body.
Oh no! What did you think was going to happen?
The dark humor really works for the show. Seeing kids trying to deal with these very dark scenarios is hilarious, especially in this pilot.
We could hide him under your bed.
I am not going to have him bleed all over my candy stash.
The jokes would sometimes catch you by surprise, and you wouldn't even see it coming.
With the mud and water as camouflage, the wildlife will also help pick away at the carcass. Just beware of redneck rapists.
Hey guys!
The animation for the show isn't the greatest, but hey, it's the first show, and it also weirdly fits. But I do like the presentation-like scenes with the narrator. My only flaws with the show is that the voice actor for Jimmy isn't the greatest.
I wish he would just go away. Oh, what? I did have one left?
And also, this is just a blatant copy of South Park. But I've never seen an episode of South Park, so I don't know how original the jokes are, but this premise doesn't really seem that original. Overall, this pilot is a decent start for the series and Shut Up Cartoons as a whole, and I'm gonna give Hiding a Body a 6 out of 10. A zombie apocalypse has taken over the world, and the only people that can stop it are this group of ninjas and one puppet. The pilot episode, titled Ninja Appreciation Day, is about an advertisement for falafel balls and how they're on sale for ninjas only.
And today is Ninja Appreciation Day. So all you ninjas head over to our new store where you can eat as much as you want. Absolutely free.
And when 3 of the 6 ninjas go there, it turns out that it was a trap and the rest of the ninjas have to save them.
And where's the food?
Look in the mirror, genius.
The 3 of the 6 that we get stuck with are lazy, selfish, dumb, and overall just bad ninjas, So clearly this show is going more for comedy than character. So in that case, how is the comedy? The comedy was decent for like the first minute, and then it started to go downhill from there. This type of humor is what the channel does best, and I use that term loosely here. That being immature humor, stuff that'll get a cheap laugh from kids. Like fart jokes.
These zombies look pretty hungry, boys.
We're perfectly safe inside my falafel-fueled fart cloud.
And jokes about ball sacks.
I'm not letting a few zombies come between me and a mouthful of hot, juicy balls.
Keep your hungry mouth away from my balls.
Andre want balls in mouth too.
Stupid shit like that is not clever in the slightest. I do like the fact that they went with stop motion animation here. I heard how tedious that can be, and so I really enjoyed seeing it here. And I'll admit, the action sequences in the episode are pretty funny. But after the rest of the ninjas show up to save them, the episode kinda just stops. It doesn't have a conclusion. What happened to the guy that organized this whole thing? Did he get away? Did they stop him? I don't know. This pilot isn't the greatest, and it's a bad indication about how the shows would go on from here. With that being said, I'm going to give Ninja Appreciation Day a 5 out of 10.
Pubertina, where's this blood coming from?
From the title alone, you already know what the show's gonna be about. The titular Pubertina is going through puberty, and that's about it. It shows everything that a girl would usually go through during puberty. The first episode, titled Rusty Sprinkler, is about Pubertina having a crush on Rusty Sprinkler, who is like a Justin Bieber knockoff. Her best friend, Debbie, or Debs as she likes to call her, suggests to post a video of her crying about Rusty, and when Rusty sees it, he goes to her school to sing a song about her. That's not really about her.
This song's not about you, but I make it feel like it's about you.
People have made fun of Justin Bieber so goddamn much, especially in 2012, that it's not even funny anymore. Hell, people are still making fun of him to this day with Yummy. But this show's not really going for comedy. It's showing the things that Pubertina is experiencing at this time of her life. However, all I get from this pilot is that she loves Rusty Sprinkler, and that's it. I know the show as a whole explores Pubertina as a character, but I'm only reviewing the pilot here, and in my opinion, this isn't a good pilot. A good pilot should establish what the character's motives and personality traits are, so that you watch more episodes to figure out more about these characters. Hell, the second episode is a better pilot than the first, titled Acne Cream. It's about Pubertina being insecure about her acne, so she gets some acne cream only to realize that it's spray tan lotion, and then she gets revenge on the person who sold it to her. This episode shows us that she's insecure with her body, which is something that everyone who is going through or went through puberty can relate to. The animation is not good here. It's like if a kid tried to do something using some sort of program. And I would know because I did something like this when I first started YouTube. Let's never bring this up ever again. Fortunately, the animation does get better as the show goes on, but I reiterate, I'm only reviewing the pilot. Also, for a show like this, the episode should be longer than 3 to 4 minutes, so they can establish more character. This flaw brings down the next pilot by a fuck ton, but for Rusty Sprinkler, I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of 10. I chose this show because how the channel described it on its playlist. Worlds will collide when reality TV moves from the Jersey Shore to outer space. Find out what the celestial bodies in our solar system are really like in a new episode of Planets every Monday on Shut Up Cartoons. I read that and I was like, that sounds insane, I want to watch it. And I was expecting it to be some sort of weird keeping it with the Kardashians but with planets. But this show is really just the shenanigans that the planets from our solar system get into. And that's it. The pilot episode, titled Earth is Lost, is about the planets playing a game of Monopoly when Earth, who's a baby in the show, wanders off and gets stopped by a beaten-down ice cream truck. Then, a black hole comes out of that truck and tries to suck Earth in, but the planets come in time to save him. This is another show that doesn't really go for comedy. In fact, the only joke I found in this pilot was this.
I understand the rules well enough to know that you are cheating.
Wait, what are you saying?
Uranus is cheating. He's cheating all over the place.
You can't have a show about space without making at least one Uranus joke. Just like with Pubertina, this pilot tries to make us care about these characters when we don't even know much about their personality or their character traits or whatever. But here it's worse because this kid that we know nothing about almost got fucking molested. I mean, yeah, I get that this pilot is trying to build a connection between the baby and the rest of the characters, so I'll give points to that. But this is why shows like these need to have longer episodes. Make me care about these characters and explore who they are first, so that this moment can be much more powerful. I don't know why I got so angry and amped up over this pilot, but for Earth is Lost, I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 10. I'm just gonna say this right now, this show is the best that Shut Up Cartoons has to offer. The show follows Oishi, a demon slayer whose dad got fired, and now she tries to live a normal life in high school along with her pet Noodles. The pilot episode, titled The Crush, is about a jock named Rafe who has a crush on Oishi, and when he asks her out, she says that she has a boyfriend.
Oh, I see. You are attempting to date me. Sorry, I have a boyfriend.
Damn it!
Rafe then tells Oishi that he wants to challenge her boyfriend, and when he comes over, it turns out that he's, of course, a tentacle monster named Mucusins.
Who dares challenge Mucusins?
Rafe chooses a dance game, thinking that it'll be an easy win, but Mucusins ends up winning, and then he just fucking eats him.
Destiny! None are immune!
This pilot is funny, gory, original, batshit insane, and very creative. I haven't watched a lot of anime, but I know about the community and what it entails, so even if you don't know or watch a lot of anime, then you can still watch the show and get a good laugh. She's like a Sailor Moon clone, but more badass than sleazy.
My locker won't open. Battle breasts engage!
Seeing Oishi trying to interact with normal people and normal things is just very funny to me.
My apologies. I was astral projecting to the end of the universe where I saw all creation drowned in smoke and fire. I am worried time is running short for us all.
Yeah, cool. So,
One thing I have to give Shut Up Cartoons major props to is that every cartoon has its own style of animation, and this live-action anime style that they went with here is very creative. My only flaws with this pilot is that the animation isn't the greatest, but again, it gets better as the show goes on. And the show's portrayal of high school is very, how I'd like to put it, Disney Channel original movie to me, but I'm guessing it has to be like that to fit the show. Also, there's a bit of random humor in this episode.
Oishi! I demand to take you to the movies! We will see Puss in Boots Part 2!
This is one of the rare moments where random humor works in something from a Smosh property. The next show is an example of why it usually doesn't work, but overall, this is the best show I've seen on the channel, and a show that I might actually come back to finish at some point. I'm gonna give The Crush an 8 out of 10. Teleporting Fat Guy was based on the now infamous music video that Smosh made back in 2008 under the same name. The video showed Ian and Anthony waiting for a bus when a fat white man teleports behind them, and then he starts singing about how he can teleport with his power glove, and that actor Burt Reynolds, you know, like from Smokey and the Bandit, is his arch nemesis. Years later, this character got his own cartoon about his origin story and how he became the teleporting fat guy. Pilot episode titled Worst Birthday Ever, or alternatively, The Rise of Bart Reynolds, is about Robbie's, that's his real name by the way, birthday, and he gets a power glove for a birthday present.
Thanks, Dad! I can't wait to go hoverboarding on my brand new power glove!
When he rejects it, the clown performing at the party takes the glove and reveals that he's Bart Reynolds. Not Burt Reynolds, even though he acts exactly like Burt Reynolds, but no, he's Bart Reynolds now.
Do you mean Burt Reynolds?
No! The biggest movie star in the world, circa 1981. Sorry.
Haven't you seen Smokey and the Bandit?
Nope.
Because copyright, or whatever. Now Robbie has to chase Bart to give his glove back. Oh, and his love interest too, that also matters. If you thought that the concept of a fat white dude who can teleport with a power glove and his villain is Burt Reynolds is random enough, then ooh, I got some news for you. This show is filled to the brim with randomness. And personally, I just don't find random humor that funny. One glance at the playlist and I'm asking way too many questions than I wanted to. Also, this is the most cliche start to a superhero origin story ever. You have the main protagonist, his friend who's like a comic relief.
He also has a stupid robot honey badger named Oliver.
Get up, fat ass!
His dad who gets got by the villain, but in this pilot he didn't actually get got by the villain.
I will avenge the death of my father if it's the last thing I do.
Actually, I think I'm okay.
And his love interest who gets taken by the villain. I've seen this structure used way too many times before. I honestly think that this is the most unoriginal pilot and possibly show I've seen on the channel. I'm gonna give Worst Birthday Ever or The Rise of Burt Reynolds, I don't know why there's two titles, a 3 out of 10. This show was the one that I had the most interest in because when the show first came out, I watched the hell out of it. I enjoyed the show when I was younger. It was my first introduction into the channel, and to be honest, I don't really remember why I enjoyed it. The pilot episode titled Power Up starts an arc that happens throughout the show where a robot named Marley goes to Ian and Anthony and gives them powers of any video game they own to save the world from its inevitable doom.
And I come bearing an important message. The fate of the entire planet will soon rest in your hands.
The fuck?
But with Ian and Anthony being Ian and Anthony, they're not that best at maintaining or even using their powers, and they also use them for their own needs only.
Okay, that does it.
What's he doing?
This show is very reminiscent of the Smosh sketches from 2015 to 17, where the random, immature nature was still there, but the energy slowly died down. The comedy was okay, I laughed at a couple jokes, and the 3D animation for a YouTube show is fine too. I even understood the video game references. This is really just another mediocre entry of the channel that doesn't really have much else to talk about. Although, I will say this, if you're afraid to watch any of the other cartoons of the channel, start off with this show. It doesn't veer off from the formula that the sketches have established. I'm gonna give Power Up a 5 out of 10. Finally, I'm gonna review the pilot to the most popular and longest running series of Shut Up cartoons, with 5 seasons and 56 episodes, Smosh Babies. So surely it has to be good, right? Right? The pilot titled The Rise of the Breadhead is about how Ian just got transferred into daycare. He meets Anthony, Hector, and Isla. Anthony tricks Ian into retrieving the toy frog that the bullies have stolen, but it fails and they both end up losing in the end. I'm guessing this was supposed to be a made-up origin story about how Ian and Anthony met, but in my eyes all I see is another South Park ripoff, or a rated R Rugrats. Either way, this concept isn't that original. The comedy is immature with pee jokes and sex jokes. Like there's a whole entire scene where Ian talks about how he likes to hump his teddy bear.
So I like to get naked and lather myself in baby oil, then take my teddy bear and hump it into submission until I fall asleep. Who cares, right? Right?
Right.
And I'm not saying I don't like jokes like these, it's just that they're not clever enough. Also, when jokes like these are used in the context of babies, it made me feel uncomfortable when I watched this pilot. As you saw by the censor bar earlier, Ian doesn't have a diaper throughout this whole entire episode, and that made me feel weird. And there's one joke that was also teased earlier that I felt like went a bit too far.
What are you doing on my playground, butthead? It's for 3-year-olds only. No babies allowed.
And I'm someone that loves dark humor, but with babies, I don't really know, dude. And going back to the topic of unoriginality, all the characters in the show are just stereotypes and cliches. Hector is Hispanic, and so he's like part of a gang, and he's always angry, and he has this thick Hispanic accent.
Diapers are for babies.
Who you calling a baby, man? You want me to cut you with my binky? Cause I'll do it, man. I'll cut you down the middle like Malcolm, homeboy.
Isla is a redhead who is dumb and like ditzy and crazy.
If I kill him, can we still eat his breadhead? It looks yummy.
You even got the cliched bullies, and one of them is a black kid whose voice is very deep for a 3-year-old.
Oh,
To be honest, man, I'm pretty freaked out about that prospect myself.
And the show adds more stereotypical characters as it goes on. The only pros I could think of when it comes down to this pilot is that the animation is decent for what it is, and I like the bond that Ian and Anthony built in this episode, but that's really it. I can see why this was the most popular cartoon considering Smosh's audience, but I don't see why this was the longest running. I'm gonna give The Rise of the Breadhead a 2 out of 10. So referring back to the question at the start of the video, did Smosh decrease in quality over the years, or have they always been bad? The answer to that is yes, to both. Looking back at it, Smosh was basically kids content in a way. All their videos appealed to kids, or specifically preteens, with their sense of humor and insane premises. Hell, the most viewed video on Shut Up Cartoons is episode 6 of Smosh Babies that's about Anthony getting potty trained. That episode is riddled with piss and shit jokes, and it has over 8 million views. Was it necessary for me to psychoanalyze these pilots to see how Smosh changed creatively? Absolutely not. By looking at their uploads, you can definitely see how they changed. But I did notice something, especially while watching a Oishi High School battle. When Ian and Anthony sold Smosh to Defy back in 2011, their videos tried to appeal to both kids and adults. All the jokes were dumb and childish, but the premises revolved around subjects that only adults would know. No kid would know about Playgirl or Insidious or The Twilight Zone or Honey Boo Boo Child. This could be the first indicator about how the videos changed. As stated earlier, from 2014 to 17, the videos were still immature and random, but they weren't high energy like their earlier stuff. And when Anthony left Smosh, the corporate side took over and the videos became more about pop culture and heavily relied on relatable humor, especially with their Every Blink Ever series, which is still going on to this day. Smosh is now working with a different studio, Mythical Entertainment, and their videos haven't gotten better, and they'll probably never will. Old school Smosh will always be there, but it's pretty sad knowing that they'll probably never return to their roots. Their childish, absurd, crude roots.
Well, I was just kind of wondering if you wanted to play dolls!
Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This video felt like it took an eternity to make, so I would really appreciate it if you subscribed and turned on post notifications. I promise that my next video won't be a 22-minute long rant of me being narcissistic about something. I promise. I already have something planned out. It'll be a lot more lighthearted. Comment down below what you think about the change in Smosh's style or Smosh in general, and yeah, I'll see you later, my peeps. What the fuck am I watching?